When the Nexar Empire's warships first appeared in Earth's orbit, they brought with them the weight of 10,000 conquered worlds. Their massive vessels, each the size of a small continent, cast shadows over Earth's major cities as humanity collectively held its breath. The date was October 15, 2047, humanity's last day of peace. Commander Elena Santos stood at the United Earth Defense Council's command center in Geneva, her dark eyes fixed on the holographic display showing the alien armada. 20 years of military service hadn't prepared her for this moment. The Nexar ships hung in the sky like obsidian daggers, their surfaces rippling with strange energy patterns that defied physics as humanity understood it. Multiple communications attempts have failed, reported Dr. James Chen, the Council's chief sinelinguist. His usually steady hands trembled as he adjusted his glasses. They're not responding to any known frequency or protocol. Elena's jaw tightened. Keep trying. We need to. The room plunged into darkness. Every screen, every device, every piece of technology simultaneously went dead. Then, as suddenly as it had disappeared, the power returned. But now every display showed the same image. A towering figure with crystalline skin and eyes that burned like dying stars. Humans of Earth, the being spoke, its voice resonating through every speaker and device globally. I am High Commander Vexthor of the Nexar Empire. Your world has been chosen for integration into our collective. Resistance is. A pause, followed by what might have been amusement, historically inadvisable. Elena watched as her fellow council members shifted uncomfortably. Admiral Harrison, a veteran of countless Earth conflicts, looked pale. Dr. Chen had stopped breathing entirely. You have 24 hours to surrender your world governments to Nexar authority, Vexthor continued. Failure to comply will result in immediate pacification. We are not cruel. We offer efficiency, order, and advancement. Your species will serve a greater purpose under our guidance. The transmission cut off, leaving an oppressive silence in its wake. Elena's mind raced through scenarios, each more desperate than the last. Earth's most advanced weapons would be like throwing pebbles at a mountain against this kind of technology. They're scanning us, announced Dr. Sarah Patel, head of Earth's Defensive Technologies Division. Her fingers flew across her restored console. Every satellite, every database, every network. They're mapping everything. Elena straightened her uniform. Then let's give them something to find. Dr. Patel, initiate Protocol Omega. Admiral Harrison, I need our orbital platforms ready. Dr. Chen, get me everything you can analyze from that transmission. Language patterns, cultural indicators, anything we can use. Commander Santos. Admiral Harrison's voice was heavy. You can't be suggesting we fight. Did you see those ships? We don't stand a chance. Elena turned to face the room, her expression fierce. No. What I'm suggesting is we show them exactly why they should have done their homework before threatening Earth. Dr. Patel, remember Project Perseus? Dr. Patel's eyes widened. The quantum field manipulator. But it's experimental, untested, and exactly what they won't be expecting. Elena finished. Humanity's greatest strength has always been our ability to innovate when backed into a corner. The Nexar Empire thinks they're dealing with a primitive species that will roll over at the first sign of superior technology. They're about to learn otherwise. The next 24 hours were a blur of activity. While the world's governments publicly debated the ultimatum, Elena and her team worked tirelessly beneath the Geneva complex. Project Perseus was moved from its hidden facility in the Antarctic to a network of launchers around the globe. Dr. Chen's analysis revealed crucial insights into Nexar psychology. Their empire was built on predictability, on the assumption that less advanced species would follow patterns of behavior seen on thousands of other worlds. They expect us to either surrender immediately or attempt a conventional military response, Elena explained to the hastily assembled Earth Defense Council. Their entire strategy relies on their technological superiority. But they've never encountered quantum field manipulation technology because they never developed it. Their energy manipulation went in a different direction. "And you're certain this will work?" President Chen of the Asian Alliance asked, her hologram flickering slightly. Alina met her gaze steadily. "What I'm certain of is that if we surrender, humanity becomes just another entry in their catalog of conquered species. If we fight conventionally, we lose everything. This gives us a chance." As the deadline approached, Alina stood in the command center, watching the final preparations. Project Perseus wasn't just one weapon. It was a network of quantum field generators designed to create localized pockets of altered physics. In theory, it could disrupt the very principles that the Nexer ships relied on for their technology. "All Perseus nodes are in position," Dr. Paddle reported. "Quantum field stability at 97%. We're as ready as we'll ever be." Alina nodded, her expression grim. "Send our response to the Nexer Empire." On every channel, on every frequency, Earth broadcast its answer. A simple no. The response was immediate. The Nexer ships began to move, their energy weapons charging with visible power. But Earth struck first. On Alina's command, Project Perseus activated. The effect was beautiful and terrifying. Waves of distorted space-time rippled outward from Earth, invisible to the naked eye, but devastating to Nexer technology. Their mighty ships began to flicker and distort, their energy weapons sputtering and dying as the quantum fields disrupted their fundamental operation. "By all the stars," Dr. Chen whispered, watching the sensors. "It's working. Their ships, they're losing power." Alina allowed herself a small smile. "Launch Phase 2. Show them exactly what humanity does to empires that threaten our home." Earth's orbital defense platforms, hidden until now by experimental cloaking technology, revealed themselves. But instead of conventional weapons, they'd fired concentrated beams of quantum-disrupted space, turning the Nexer's own mastery of physics against them. The massive alien ships began to break apart, their once impervious hulls crumbling under laws of physics they weren't designed to withstand. High Commander Vex Thor's voice boomed through the command center once more, but this time it was filled with something new. "Fear. What is this? What have you done?" "This," Alina responded, her voice steady, "is humanity's response to threats against our world. You came here expecting to find primitive beings ready for conquest. Instead, you found a species that had developed in ways your empire never imagined. We don't follow your patterns, High Commander. We make our own." The Nexer fleet was in chaos. Some ships attempted to retreat, only to find their faster-than-light drives wouldn't function within the quantum disruption field. Others tried to maintain position, their crews desperately attempting to adapt to the changing laws of physics around them. "They're sending out a distress signal," Dr. Chen reported, his voice filled with disbelief. "To their entire empire. They're warning them about Earth." Alina watched as the mighty Nexer ships, pride of an empire that spanned galaxies, were reduced to drifting hulks in Earth's orbit. "Good," she said firmly. "Let them warn others. Let the galaxy know that humanity will not bow, will not surrender, and will not be conquered. We are not their subjects. We are not their slaves, and we are not following their rules." As the sun rose over Geneva, casting light on a changed world, Alina thought about the message they had sent to the galaxy. The Nexer Empire had made a crucial mistake. They had assumed that technological superiority meant inevitable victory. They hadn't counted on human ingenuity, on our ability to think outside their carefully ordered box, on our determination to remain free. "What now, Commander?" Admiral Harrison asked, looking at the disabled Nexer fleet. Alina's response was immediate. "Now we prepare. The Empire will come back. And when they do, they'll come with everything they have. But they'll find us ready. Humanity just proved we can stand up to the greatest power in the galaxy. It's time we showed them what else we can do." The first battle was over, but Alina knew this was just the beginning. Earth had made its statement to the galaxy. Underestimate humanity at your own risk. The Nexer Empire was about to learn that some species don't follow the expected path. Some forge their own destiny. no matter the odds. And humanity. Humanity was just getting started. 3 months after Earth's shocking victory over the Nexar Empire's initial assault, Commander Elena Santos stood in a hidden facility deep beneath the Rocky Mountains. The captured Nexar vessel suspended before her was a testament to humanity's first triumph, and possibly the key to surviving what was coming. Dr. Sarah Patel's team had been working around the clock to understand the alien technology. The vessel's crystalline structure seemed to pulse with its own internal light, even months after its systems had been disrupted by Project Perseus. "We've made a breakthrough," Dr. Patil announced, her excitement barely contained. She gestured to a holographic display showing the ship's internal structure. The Nexar don't just use technology, they grow it. Their ships are semi-organic crystalline matrices that respond to specific energy frequencies. Elena studied the complex patterns dancing across the display. "Can we use this?" "Better." Dr. Patel's fingers flew across the control panel, zooming in on a particular section. "We've found their network. Every Nexar ship, every piece of their technology, it's all connected through what we're calling the crystalline frequency. It's how they maintain their empire's coordination across galaxies." Admiral Harrison, who had become one of Elena's strongest supporters after the first battle, leaned forward. "A single network for their entire empire. That's a massive tactical vulnerability." Elena finished, her mind already racing with possibilities. "Dr. Patel, can we access this network?" "Not yet, but we can disrupt it, and with the right modifications to Project Perseus." Dr. Patel's eyes gleamed with scientific enthusiasm. The facility's alert system suddenly blared to life. Dr. Chen's voice came through the speakers, tense but controlled. "Commander, we're detecting massive spatial distortions. Multiple Nexar vessels emerging from hyperspace, far more than before." Elena was already moving. "How many?" "Thousands. They're not just sending a fleet this time. This is an armada." The command center was a hive of activity when Elena arrived. The main display showed a terrifying sight. Space itself seemed to be tearing open as Nexar warships emerged in waves. Their designs were different from the first fleet. Bigger, more aggressive, clearly built for full-scale invasion. "They've learned," Elena observed grimly. "These ships are probably shielded against standard quantum disruption." "Commander," a young lieutenant called out, "we're receiving a transmission. It's being broadcast globally." The image that appeared was not of High Commander Vexthor, but of an even more imposing figure. Its crystalline form seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it, and when it spoke, its voice carried the weight of eons. "I am Supreme Overlord Zixnar of the Nexar Empire. Your resistance to our first envoy was unexpected, impressive, even. But it ends now. You have one planetary rotation to surrender. There will not be another offer." As the transmission cut off, Elena turned to her team. "Dr. Patel, how close are we to implementing your network disruption theory?" "We'd need days, maybe weeks too." "You have 12 hours. Admiral Harrison, I need every Perseus generator recalibrated to Dr. Patel's specifications. Dr. Chen, analyze the transmission. I want to know everything about their command structure, their psychology, anything we can use." The next 12 hours were a blur of activity. While the world's governments publicly deliberated the ultimatum, the hidden facility became the center of humanity's true response. Dr. Patel's team worked frantically to modify the quantum field generators, while Dr. Chen's linguistic analysis revealed crucial details about Nexar hierarchy. "Their entire society is built on crystalline resonance," Dr. Chen explained during a brief strategy session. "Even their language is based on harmonic frequencies. They don't just use their network, they're dependent on it." Elena nodded, pieces falling into place. "So if we disrupt that network, we don't just disable their ships," Dr. Patel finished. "We could potentially disrupt their entire command structure." As the deadline approached, Elena gathered Earth's defense leaders. The plan was audacious: perhaps even insane, but it was their best shot at survival. Project Perseus was designed to create localized quantum disruptions, Elena explained. But Dr. Patel has modified it to target specific frequencies, the same frequencies the Nexer use for their network. When they attack, we won't just defend Earth. We're going to send a signal through their own network that will cascade through their entire empire. And what exactly will this signal do? President Chen asked. Dr. Patel stepped forward. It will introduce quantum chaos into their crystalline matrices. Their ships, their weapons, their very command structure, all of it will be thrown into disarray. But we'll only have one shot. Once they realize what we're doing, they'll adapt. The deadline arrived. Supreme Overlord Zixnar's face appeared again on global broadcasts. Your time is up. What is your answer? Elena gave the signal. All across Earth, modified Perseus generators activated simultaneously. But instead of creating defensive fields, they broadcast a precise quantum frequency, one that matched and then disrupted the Nexer's crystalline network. The effect was immediate and spectacular. The massive Nexer ships began to pulse with discordant energy. Their perfect crystalline structures started to vibrate at conflicting frequencies. The disruption spread from ship to ship, carrying through their network at faster than light speeds. By all that's holy, Admiral Harrison breathed, watching the sensor readings. It's spreading beyond our solar system. The whole network is being affected. Elena watched as the mighty Nexer armada fell into chaos. Ships lost power, crews lost contact with their command structure, and the perfectly coordinated invasion force began to break apart. Supreme Overlord Zixnar's image appeared once more, but now it was flickering, distorted. What? What have you done? How did you? Our network. Impossible. You made a fundamental mistake, Elena responded, her voice carrying across the compromised Nexer network. You assumed that because your technology was more advanced, you were superior, but humanity's strength isn't in our technology. It's in our ability to adapt, to think differently, to turn your own strengths against you. The disruption continued to spread. Reports began coming in from Earth's deep space monitoring stations. Nexer ships and installations across multiple star systems were being affected. Their entire empire, built on the foundation of their crystalline network, was experiencing a cascade failure. They're retreating, Dr. Chen announced, monitoring the communications channels. Not just here, everywhere. The entire Nexer fleet is falling back to their core systems. Elena allowed herself a small smile. Send a message through their network, while we still can. Let every species under Nexer control know what happened here. Let them know that resistance is possible. As the Nexer ships fled Earth's space, Elena knew this wasn't the end. The Empire would eventually recover, adapt, and possibly return. But they had done more than just defend Earth. They had shown the galaxy that the mighty Nexer Empire wasn't invincible. They had given hope to countless enslaved species. What now, Commander? Admiral Harrison asked, looking at the retreating fleet. Now we prepare for the next phase, Elena replied. The Nexer will be back, but they won't be the only ones coming. We just showed the galaxy that humanity can stand against the greatest empire in known space. There will be others, some seeking alliance, some seeking conquest. Earth needs to be ready for all of them. In the command center's main display, the last of the Nexer ships vanished into hyperspace. Humanity had won another battle, but Elena knew the war was far from over. They had proven that Earth wouldn't be an easy conquest, that humans could think beyond conventional warfare, that sometimes the greatest weapon wasn't superior technology, but the ability to think differently. The galaxy was about to become a much more interesting place, and humanity was ready to take its place among the stars, not as subjects of an empire, but as architects of their own destiny. The Nexer Empire's retreat had left Earth with an unexpected gift: time. In the 6 months since Operation Achilles' Heel, humanity had been working feverishly to prepare for the inevitable counterstrike. Deep beneath the Atacama Desert, Commander Elena Santos walked through humanity's newest and most secretive facility, Project Prometheus. The crystalline technology adapts, Dr. Sarah Paddle explained, leading Elena through laboratories filled with salvaged Nexar tech. We've managed to reverse engineer some of their basic systems, but it's like trying to teach mathematics to a virus. The technology actively resists our attempts to control it. Elena stopped at a testing chamber where scientists were attempting to interface with a piece of Nexar equipment. The crystal matrix pulsed with an angry red light, refusing to acknowledge their commands. They built their technology to be racist, Elena observed. It only responds to Nexar biology. That was true, a new voice said, until we made a breakthrough. Elena turned to see Dr. Marcus Wong, the facility's head of cynobiology, approaching with what appeared to be a living crystal floating in a containment field. The crystal's surface rippled with patterns that seemed almost familiar. What am I looking at, Doctor? Dr. Wong's eyes gleamed with excitement. We call it a hybrid matrix. We've managed to combine human DNA with Nexar crystalline structures at a quantum level. The result is something entirely new, technology that responds to human operators while maintaining the advanced capabilities of Nexar systems. Before Elena could respond, the facility's alert system activated. Dr. Chen's voice came through with unusual urgency. Commander, we're detecting an unregistered quantum signature approaching Earth. It's not Nexar. It's something else. The command center was already active when Elena arrived. The main display showed a single vessel approaching Earth, its design unlike anything they'd seen before. It was organic, almost artistic, with flowing lines that seemed to defy conventional engineering. It's broadcasting on all frequencies, Dr. Chen reported. The language, it's similar to Nexar but different. More musical. Put it through, Elena ordered. The image that appeared was striking. A crystalline being like the Nexar, but with a structure that seemed more fluid, more natural. When it spoke, its voice carried harmonics that made the air itself vibrate. People of Earth, I am Lyra, last survivor of the Crystal Song civilization. We were among the first to fall to the Nexar Empire millennia ago. We've been watching, waiting, and you have done what we thought impossible. You've shown that they can be defeated. Elena studied the being carefully. You've come a long way to tell us this. I've come to warn you, and to help. The Nexar are not merely retreating. They are transforming. Your attack on their network has forced them to evolve. When they return, they will be something far more dangerous. Dr. Paddle stepped forward. You said you want to help. What exactly are you offering? Lyra's form shimmered. Knowledge. My people understood crystal technology in ways the Nexar never did. They use it as a tool of control. We saw it as a partnership, a symphony of life and technology. I can teach you our ways. Elena exchanged glances with her team. This could be exactly what they needed, or it could be a trap. Why should we trust you? Because I bring proof of my intentions. Lyra's image gestured, and data began flowing through Earth's networks. These are the locations of hidden crystal song catches throughout the galaxy, weapons, ships, and technology we concealed before our fall. They are yours now, if you wish them. The next few weeks were a whirlwind of activity. Lyra's knowledge proved invaluable, transforming Project Prometheus from a struggling research initiative into something revolutionary. The hybrid matrices Dr. Wong had developed became the foundation for an entirely new type of technology, one that combined human intuition with crystal song power. It's incredible, Dr. Paddle exclaimed, watching as a test pilot mentally interfaced with a prototype fighter craft. The vessel's crystalline structure responded to the pilot's thoughts, moving with a grace that seemed impossible for something its size. The crystal song technology doesn't just allow control, it creates a true symbiosis between operator and machine. Elena watched the demonstration with growing hope. How long until we can begin full-scale production? That's the best part, Dr. Wong interjected. The crystal matrices reproduce themselves. Once we create a successful prototype, We can grow an entire fleet within months. But their work was interrupted by another alert. This time, it was different. A quantum pulse from one of Earth's deep space monitoring stations. The message it carried was brief but terrifying. "They're coming," Dr. Chen translated, his face pale. "The Nexer, they've changed. The message says they're not even recognizable anymore." Lyra's form appeared on the command center's displays. "It's happening faster than I feared. The Nexer are embracing what they call the Great Evolution. They're changing their entire species, becoming one with their technology in a way that perverts everything my people believed in." Alina's mind raced with the implications. "How long do we have?" "Weeks, at most," Lyra replied. "They will come with powers we've never seen before, twisted versions of crystal technology that defy the natural order itself. Then we accelerate everything," Alina decided. "Dr. Patel, Dr. Wang, you have 1 week to get our first crystal fleet operational. Dr. Chen, I want every piece of data we have on Nexer psychology reanalyzed in light of this evolution. Lyra, we need everything you know about crystal technology's true potential." The next 7 days were a blur of activity. The Project Prometheus facility operated around the clock, growing and adapting crystal ships as fast as they could train pilots to interface with them. Each vessel was a unique blend of human spirit and crystal song technology, capable of maneuvers that would have been impossible with conventional physics. "They're beautiful," Alina murmured, watching as the first squadron of crystal fighters performed their test flights. The ships moved like schools of fish, their formations fluid and unpredictable, their crystal hulls shimmering with internal light. "They're more than beautiful," Lyra said, her form appearing beside Alina. "They're hope. My people believe that crystal technology should enhance life, not dominate it. What you've created here, it's what we always dreamed was possible." But even as Earth's new defenders took to the skies, the reports from their deep space stations grew more disturbing. The Nexer were coming, and they were bringing something terrible with them, a darkness that seemed to devour light itself. "Commander," Admiral Harrison called out, his voice tight with concern. "Long-range sensors are detecting something massive approaching the outer solar system. It's like nothing we've ever seen." The main display showed a void in space, a moving darkness that consumed everything in its path. As they watched, the darkness began to take shape, a vast, crystalline entity that seemed to bend reality around it. "The Great Evolution is complete," Lyra whispered in horror. "They've become something that should not be possible, a fusion of crystal technology and dark matter itself." Alina straightened her uniform, her jaw set with determination. "Then we show them our own evolution. Humanity didn't just adopt crystal technology. We've made it our own, infused it with something the Nexer could never understand: the human spirit." As Earth's crystal fleet moved into defensive positions, Alina knew they were about to face their greatest challenge yet. The Nexer were coming with power beyond imagination, but they were about to learn that humanity's greatest strength wasn't in the weapons we wielded, but in how we wielded them. The final battle for Earth's future was about to begin, and this time, the stakes were higher than ever before. The darkness at the edge of the solar system grew, a void that consumed light and hope alike. Earth's crystal fleet hung in defensive formation, their hulls shimmering with internal light that seemed pitifully small against the approaching nightmare. Commander Alina Santos stood on the bridge of the Prometheus, humanity's first crystal songship carrier, watching as the twisted Nexer force approached. "Multiple quantum distortions detected," Dr. Chen reported, his voice steady despite the tension. They're not just using dark matter. They're weaponizing the fabric of space-time itself." Through the quantum-enhanced sensors, Alina watched as the Nexer fleet emerged from the void. Their ships were no longer the elegant crystalline structures of before. They had become something grotesque, a fusion of crystal, dark matter, and corrupted space-time that hurt the eyes to look at. "All ships, maintain formation," Alina commanded. "Remember your training. The crystal song responds to emotion as much as thought. Stay focused. Stay calm. The first Nexar transmission came not as a signal, but as a psychic assault that made every crystal matrix in the human fleet vibrate in sympathy. The being that appeared on their screens was barely recognizable as the same species they had fought before. Supreme Overlord Zixnar had become something else, a creature of living darkness with crystals growing through and around it like a cancer. We have transcended. The thing that had been Zixnar spoke, its voice carrying harmonics that made crew members clutch their heads in pain. Your resistance taught us that evolution was necessary. Now we return to show you true power. Elena gestured to Dr. Patel, who activated a series of quantum filters. The painful harmonics faded. I see you've learned the wrong lesson, Elena responded. You took something beautiful and corrupted it because you couldn't stand being defeated. We have become perfection, Zixnar rasped. Your primitive understanding of crystal technology is nothing compared to what we have achieved. Surrender now, and we will grant you the gift of evolution. Elena's response was to activate the Prometheus's combat systems. The carrier's crystal matrix hummed in harmony with her determination. Humanity doesn't need your kind of evolution. We've found our own path. The void ships surged forward, reality warping around them as they attacked. But Earth's fleet was ready. The crystal fighters moved with impossible grace, their human pilots working in perfect harmony with their ships. Where the Nexar brought darkness, humanity's vessels responded with light. They're trying to create quantum singularities, Dr. Patel reported, monitoring the battle from her station. Their dark matter technology is attempting to tear holes in space itself. Now, Lyra, Elena commanded. Throughout the human fleet, crystal matrices began to pulse with a new frequency. The true song of Lyra's people. The crystal song technology responded to the music of creation itself, a harmony that had been written into the very structure of the universe. The effect on the corrupted Nexar ships was immediate and devastating. Their dark matter constructs began to unravel as the crystal song forced them to remember their true nature. Light began to pierce the artificial void they had created. Impossible. Zixnar's voice boomed across space. What are you doing? Showing you what crystal technology was meant to be. Lyra's voice joined the broadcast. My people understood that the crystals weren't tools to be dominated, but partners in the cosmic dance. You took that beauty and twisted it into a mockery. The battle raged across the solar system. Human pilots, their minds linked with their crystal ships through bonds of trust and partnership rather than domination, fought with a creativity and intuition that the evolved Nexar couldn't match. Where the enemy brought entropy and destruction, Earth's forces responded with harmony and life. But the Nexar's raw power was still overwhelming. Several human ships were lost to their dark matter weapons, their crystal matrices screaming in agony as they were torn apart. Elena felt each loss through her connection to the Prometheus, the pain of her people fueling her resolve. Dr. Patel, she called out, initiate protocol resonance. Throughout the human fleet, crystal matrices began to synchronize. The song grew stronger, building to a crescendo that made the very fabric of space-time vibrate in sympathy. This was humanity's true secret weapon, not just the crystal technology, but the ability to work together, to create something greater than the sum of its parts. Crystal song harmonic convergence at 90%, Dr. Patil announced. All ships are in sync. Elena closed her eyes, feeling the combined power of the human fleet through her connection to the Prometheus. Now, everyone, pour everything you have into the song. The resulting burst of energy was like a new star being born. Pure crystal energy, amplified by thousands of human minds working in perfect harmony, exploded outward. The wave hit the Nexar fleet like a tsunami of light, their corrupted dark matter technology unable to withstand the pure, primal force of the crystal song. Zixnar's flagship, a mountain-sized abomination of crystal and void, began to break apart. What is this power? The Supreme Overlord's voice wavered. This is humanity, Elena responded, her voice carrying the strength of Earth's combined will. "We didn't just adapt your technology. We understood it in a way you never could. The crystals don't want to be weapons. They want to sing." The Nexer fleet's formation shattered as ship after ship succumbed to the crystal song. Some vessels simply shut down, their corrupted matrices reverting to their natural state. Others imploded as their dark matter containment fields collapsed. The void that had threatened to consume the solar system began to recede. All ships pressed the advantage. Elena commanded, "Don't let them regroup." Earth's crystal fleet surged forward, their harmonized attack breaking the last remnants of Nexer resistance. The few enemy ships that could still move began to retreat, their once fearsome dark matter technology now unstable and failing. As the battle drew to a close, Elena received a priority signal from Earth. Dr. Wong's excited voice came through. "Commander, you need to see this. The crystal song didn't just defeat them. It's spreading through their entire network. Every Nexer ship, every installation. They're all being forced to remember their true nature." Elena watched as the last Nexer ships flood, leaving behind a graveyard of twisted metal and purified crystals. They had won more than just a battle. They had shown the galaxy a new way forward, one that respected the natural harmony of the universe instead of trying to dominate it. "What now, Commander?" Admiral Harrison asked, his hologram flickering with residual quantum interference. Elena looked out at the stars, knowing that this victory would change everything. "Now we rebuild. Not just Earth's defenses, but the very way we approach space travel and colonization. The Nexer Empire tried to conquer the galaxy through force and corruption. We'll show them a better way, through harmony, cooperation, and understanding." The crystal ships of Earth's fleet regrouped, their matrices humming with triumphant song. Humanity had faced its greatest threat and emerged not just victorious, but transformed. They had proven that true strength comes not from domination, but from working in harmony with the forces of nature themselves. The galaxy would never be the same, and humanity was ready to lead the way into a new era of exploration and discovery. 1 year after the Battle of Sol, Commander Elena Santos stood on the observation deck of the Stellar Harmony, Earth's newest crystal songship. Below her, representatives from 100 alien species gathered in the ship's vast conference chamber. The fall of the Nexer Empire had transformed the galaxy, and Earth had become a beacon of hope for countless civilizations. "The latest reports from the Andromeda sector are in," Dr. Chen announced, joining Elena at the viewport. 3 more former Nexer colony worlds have successfully integrated the Crystal Song protocols. Their ships are already showing signs of natural crystal growth. Elena nodded, watching as diplomatic vessels from across the galaxy docked with the Stellar Harmony. Each ship bore its own unique crystal configuration, a testament to how different species had embraced the true nature of the technology. And the Nexer themselves, still isolated in their home system, Dr. Chen replied. The crystal song stripped away their dark matter evolution, forced their technology to revert to its natural state. They're struggling to adapt. The chamber below filled with delegates. Some were crystalline beings like Lyra. Others were completely alien forms that human eyes could barely comprehend. All had come to participate in what was being called the Galactic Harmony Council, the first true interstellar federation built on cooperation rather than conquest. "It's time," Dr. Paddle said, approaching with a crystal matrix floating beside her. The crystal pulsed with a gentle light, its surface inscribed with patterns that represented the combined scientific knowledge of a dozen species. "The quantum network is ready for initialization." Elena took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment. This was more than just a diplomatic meeting. It was the beginning of a new era for the galaxy. "Begin the broadcast." The crystal matrix activated, connecting with similar devices across the gathered ships and spreading further through quantum channels to reach us countless light years away. Elena's image appeared before delegations on thousands of worlds as she began her address. "Representatives of the galaxy, 1 year ago, humanity faced a choice. We could have used our victory over the Nexar Empire to become conquerors ourselves. We could have taken their role as the dominant force in the galaxy. Instead, we chose a different path. The crystal matrix resonated with her words, carrying not just sound but emotion and intent across the quantum network. The crystal song technology showed us that the universe isn't meant to be dominated. It's meant to be understood, to be worked with in harmony. Today, we take the first step toward making that vision a reality. In the chamber below, Lyra stepped forward. Her crystalline form had grown more complex over the past year, incorporating patterns that reflected her work with humans and other species. The Crystal Song civilization dreamed of a galaxy united not by force, but by understanding. We fell before we could achieve it, but humanity has given that dream new life. The quantum network hummed with responses from across the galaxy. Images began appearing in the chamber, representatives from worlds too distant to attend in person, their voices joining the growing chorus of support. The Galactic Harmony Council isn't about creating a new empire, Elena continued. It's about building bridges between civilizations, sharing knowledge, and ensuring that no species ever faces extinction at the hands of conquerors again. Dr. Wong joined them, carrying data from the latest crystal song research. We're already seeing unprecedented developments. Different species bring unique perspectives to crystal technology. The Arcturians have discovered ways to use it for environmental restoration. The Proxima colonies have developed new applications in medicine. Even the youngest spacefaring races are contributing innovations we never imagined. A sudden alert caught their attention. Dr. Chen's console lit up with urgent signals. "Commander, we're detecting a quantum signature approaching. It's from the Nexar home system." The chamber fell silent as a ship appeared near the stellar harmony. Unlike the twisted void ships of the evolved Nexar, this vessel was pure crystal, its structure simple and elegant. A transmission came through, and Elena recognized the voice of Supreme Overlord Zixnar, but changed, humbled. "People of Earth, representatives of the galaxy," Zixnar spoke, his once overwhelming presence now subdued. "We come not as conquerors, but as supplicants. The crystal song has shown us the truth of our corruption, the folly of our empire. We ask to learn from you." Elena studied the Nexar ship, noting how its crystal matrix pulsed with a natural rhythm so different from their previous harsh frequencies. "Your people are welcome to join us," she responded, "as equals, not rulers. The galaxy is changing. We all must change with it." The assembly erupted in discussion. The arrival of the Nexar, not as conquerors but as peers seeking understanding, was more than just a diplomatic victory. It was proof that their vision of galactic harmony was possible. "Initiate docking procedures," Elena commanded, "and prepare the council chamber for additional delegates." As the Nexar ship was guided to its berth, Elena reflected on the journey that had brought them here. Earth had faced extinction and emerged not just survived but transformed. Humanity had taken its place among the stars not through conquest, but by showing the galaxy a better way. Dr. Patel's console chimed with new data. "The quantum network is stabilizing. We're seeing connectivity levels we never thought possible. It's like the galaxy itself is beginning to sing." Elena smiled, watching as representatives from former enemy species began to mingle, share ideas, and build connections. This was humanity's true victory, not the defeat of an empire, but the creation of something entirely new. The Nexar thought they could force the universe to bow to their will, Lyra observed, her crystalline form resonating with the harmonies around them. Humanity showed us all that true power comes from working in concert with the natural order, not against it. As the Galactic Harmony Council's first official session began, Elena felt the quantum network pulse with possibility. Earth had not only survived its trial by fire, it had sparked a revolution in how civilizations would interact for generations to come. The crystal song spread through space, carrying with it a message of hope and unity. The age of empires was over. The age of harmony had begun, and humanity was proud to help lead the way into this new era of galactic cooperation and understanding. In the vast chamber below, 1,000 voices joined in discussion, their different languages and thoughts carried clearly through the crystal network. They were no longer conquerors and conquered, no longer advanced and primitive. They were partners in the greatest endeavor the galaxy had ever seen, the creation of a future where all species could reach their full potential together. The stars themselves seemed to shine brighter, as if approving of this new path. Humanity had done more than save itself. It had shown the galaxy that there was always a better way, if only you had the courage and wisdom to find it.